In this video, we are going to be sourcing from eBay to Amazon, and we had some technical difficulties, but we are here. We're going to do some live sourcing, giving you guys free leads to purchase if you are selling on Amazon. So without further ado, let's get started. Gonna kind of see if we can source a ton of profit in a short amount of time. So basically, one of my favorite ways to source, definitely not the only way, is FlipMine. And also, I want to confirm if you guys are in the chat, can you guys see my screen that we're on FlipMine? I just want to make sure you guys can actually see. But it looks like it's working. So basically what you do with this software is you basically use it to find profitable deals that you can sell on Amazon. And there's a lot of different ways you can source, but this is a really good way. So basically you set up some filters, and there's all these different things that you can use in order to set up filters. So for profit, I like to set this to like 10 bucks. I don't want to be looking at like little $4 profit items. I want something that's actually going to like put some meat on the bone once you actually find it. Because, you know, like if you source a $3 profit item or a $300 profit item, it kind of takes the same amount of time in order to like analyze everything and make the purchase. Right now I'm looking at new only. You can do this used only. It's just a little bit different. Kind of like what we were saying before, I don't want these little tiny profits. So we're going to make it at least $40 and see how when we make a change here, the results go down and down and down. It just narrows it down for us. Sales rank. So there's a lot of different ways you can do this. I don't want to just set it to like, I only want stuff that's under 50,000 because it's just going to be way too narrow. So we're going to set it to like 300,000. That's like an easy medium. And then ROI, just going to set it to like 40. That's good. So we've got less results now. And then we could also do something with eBay seller positive feedback to just avoid some of the worst sellers out there. It's not going to narrow it down by too much. That'll help. So what was that? eBay seller positive feedback percentage, 95. And then we could look for sellers who, you know, like they actually have some feedback. So we'll just do like 10. Basically to make sure they've actually like sold and shipped something, you know. But we got Christiana in the chat. Let's go. We got RW. Good afternoon, Seth and Christiana. Good to see you, RW. Good to see you guys. Without further ado, let's try to find some good profitable items. So we're just going to start digging in here. My basic process for this, and I'm just laughing because I think we already found something like super good. But my basic process for this is I want to make sure that these are not mismatches. And I usually filter out stock photos. If it's a stock photo for the first one, sometimes I'll click in to see like, do they have pictures of the actual item? But, you know, like I often just skip a lot of them as well. Like this one is the actual product, but this one is not. So if we click in here, for example, they don't have another picture of it. And so it's just a good indicator that they might be selling something that's like slightly open or not quite new. And you can't really verify for yourself unless you like message them or something. So I often just skip those and try and skip mismatches. I'm also looking at the ROI and the profit and the lowest FBA offer. So like, let's say we are analyzing this one and this says 50 bucks. And then we click into Amazon and it's like 35 bucks. Then this is no longer true and we have to reanalyze. But if it's around the same, we know that we're going to be able to like get the deal at what this is showing. So if we click in here, we remember 50.63. It's actually higher. And then here's an instructive point too. So So I do have IP alert. And so IP alert is saying that Tula is a brand where you're more likely to get an IP complaint. Basically, the way IP alert works is it's a crowdsourced software. And basically, um, when someone has a verified IP complaint from a brand, they submit it into IP alert. Chris Grant actually like verifies it himself. He's a really good Amazon seller. He verifies that they actually got an IP complaint, not just like a little letter in the mail or something. And then they put this brand on unflag basically so that people know, okay, it's higher risk to sell Tula. Just because it's on IP alert doesn't mean that it's actually you're actually going to get an IP complaint on it. There's other things to look into, and so that actually does create some good opportunities because people are scared of certain brands that they don't need to be scared of. But some of the signs that we would look for is the brand selling the item? And in this case, yes, the brand is selling the item. And then also, if you look down at the Keep It graph, the Keep It graph actually looks decently okay on this. Oftentimes it'll be just basically in this section here, it'll be one purple line of one seller always being in stock, and then a couple people going on and then getting kicked off, et cetera, et cetera. But in this case, it actually kind of leads me to think potentially there's some chance here for other third-party sellers to sell this. Not that I necessarily feel like risking it. If you hover over the buy box, see other people are getting a little buy box. Yeah, I mean, other people are selling this. Fanny's Gifts. So, I mean, this could be a diamond in the rough where it feels too risky to sell, but you're actually going to be okay. So this is something that you could experiment with. For me, I'm gated in this, and I'm just trying to not take too many uncalculated. And I'm gonna stop sharing for a second and take a look at the comments. We got our W in the chat. Seth, off topic. Have you had someone check to see if Amazon owes you money? I had a company check for me and they got $1,500 back. Yes. Are you talking about reimbursement services? Yeah. So for my reimburse inventory, I had a company check and they checked back for like the last year or so, and they were able to get back like $3,500, which is absolutely amazing. I'm trying to remember. It's a shame I don't have a link for them to support me if you use the link, but not specifically talking to you, RW, but like to other people who want to do this themselves. But it's called Seller Investigators. Yeah, a bunch of my friends have used them and they've gotten money back. I think some other ones are Gativa. There's a couple out there, but if you're a solid Amazon seller and you haven't used a service, I would strongly recommend it. It wasn't super hard to do. But getting back to sourcing some profitable products, and obviously I'm not going super fast here. If this was me just sourcing right now, maybe I'd click into here and I would see, oh, the brand's on the listing. Pass, next. Kind of the name of the game is going through these as fast as you can, and kind of looking for the thing that you're looking for. So we could click into here. Again, we see 50, 50, and it's way dang lower, way too low. So we would just pass. Garbage. But this is the one that I was laughing to myself about because this looks absolutely juicy. So we have this Sony boombox, new in the box. So here's a nugget of gold for you guys. I do not give a care that this sales rank is too high. I'm going to be looking to see how many sellers are on this listing. Because if there's like 2 sellers on this listing and it's that high, like this will sell for sure. So taking a look at this, we want to make sure it's the same item, CFD F10. And like we were talking about, Sony is one of the brands where IP alert comes up. And we would want to look at the signs to see, like, is this actually going to be high risk? So do we see the brand just dominating the buy box? No, we do not. If we filter by new, we see another third-party seller on here, and very few new people on the listing. So like, is the brand really going to send us an IP complaint if they're not even on the listing? Just much less chance. This one, you just see right off the bat that very few new people are in stock here. So I know you're probably looking at the price and seeing $500, but what I'm looking at is down here. One seller, one seller, one seller, one seller, one seller, one seller, one seller. So if this was just straight one seller and they were always in stock, I would be nervous about an IP complaint. But this is a situation where one seller gets one, they find one somewhere, and they sell out. And then another seller finds one and they sell out. And yes, we are seeing that it is a slower item for sure. So if we zoom into, let's say, the last 2 years here, basically keep a 101. When the green line goes down, there is most likely a sale. It's a lot more complicated than that, but that's simple enough. So, like, this doesn't sell a ton, but for how many new people are on the listing, this sells enough. So, I mean, we have one sale a month here, which is pretty freaking slow. We have that new person on the listing. They've been on this listing at $300 for several months. I'm curious if they had multiple, because if they had multiple, that's helpful to know. And so what I'm doing is I'm going into the offers tab. I'm clicking include historical offers and filter by new. So we're not seeing tons of data here, and sometimes you just don't. But it looks like they have only had one. And for how long have they been in stock? Okay, so they were in stock since October. And it's not really working out for them, it seems. Yeah, and so most likely what's going on is these drops in sales rank are people buying used very good, buying used ones. So this one is feeling worse than I thought. This is one we could, because like the price is amazing. We're looking at 145 here, which is not as good as I thought, actually. I thought it was more like 100% ROI, because FlipMine was saying 78%. So this is one, it's amazing ROI. It's giving me vibes that we're going to have to lower the price. We're going to have to like cut them or something. So I'm really just talking through this whole situation, but I think at this point I would just click off this and move on. This would be a longer tail item, and for this much ROI, I'm not willing to wait that long. Although that's super nice and juicy. If we had evidence that like this person was just like going out of stock, and he had listed in October and he sold in December or whatever, like maybe we would do that. But we're not into that. So we are going to move on. RW is saying, yeah, that was the same one that I used. Yeah, that was a really good one here. So we're going to see if we can continue to find any profitable items. Grabbing a drink. All right. So we do have some DVDs here. I don't do a ton of DVDs, but they're good for a lot of people. So we'll take a look. We got Santa Claus again, looking at 49. 49. I'd have to see if I get auto-ungated, but you probably would. UPC. So I'm looking for the UPC here. So at the end, last 3 digits, I'm seeing like 770 or something. I can't quite. Oh, but then there might be a number hidden. Where is the UPC? 7725. And that's what that is. I don't know why this is ranked in video games, because 80K in video games is super slow. Super slow. I don't. Too slow for me. Now a graphics card, here is one where we're going to take a look at a non-sales rank listing, because I think this is going to, or a sub-ranked one. Yeah, so we see here, we could pull up seller amp so people can see as well. So it's showing unknown, and it's 777 in computer graphics cards. These ones are riskier because it's a little harder to tell how much these are selling. Basically, in these situations, you're looking for a couple signs here. Number one, reviews. So this one is checking the reviews. It's actually getting reviews. People often say like every 100 sales, there's a review on a product, and it kind of depends. Another thing we're seeing here is there's a ton of sellers going on and off this listing, as we can see down here. People just doing a lot of stuff. One thing I am seeing over time, this is getting cheaper and cheaper. And the price has gone up recently because there's only a couple sellers on the listing. It went from 420. Was that 420 over 420? No, 370 on 420. 420. This seller count went down and down and down, and there's like nobody on the listing. So I would not count on selling this for $5.99, because there could be some supply somewhere and it goes straight back up. So if we're gonna source this, I would want to make sure that we're profitable at 440. Because if more sellers get on the listing, we could go straight back there. So we're going to enter 440 here. To get it at 40% ROI, we would need 282. And we are not at 282, but there is an offer button, and he has multiple. So this is something I do think if we sent an offer for, let's say we were confident enough to buy all 3 of these, we could send him an offer for 280 each, and he might accept. This is one where it's, if you're confident that enough of these are going to sell, I'd be pretty, it would be worth your time to send an offer, because again, like I said before, like it's the same amount of time to analyze a $3 product or a $300 product. And this is your $300 product right here. Here's a tip I learned recently. So the offers tab is sometimes inconsistent. Like it gives somewhat inconsistent data. But if you click Prime, it's going to show, it's going to be a little bit more accurate, because when you're looking at FBM only, something like this, where they had 19, but then they suddenly went to 1, that could just mean that they just delisted 18 of them. And so it shows 19 sales. And so this big number here isn't completely accurate. We're wanting to see like something like this, where they're selling a couple, not just these huge drop-offs. And so with Prime, people aren't just going to like delist everything because it's Prime, you know? So like this, it looks like you kind of sold out really quick. Amazon warehouse. So it's giving a question mark here. Another thing I like to do on these no rank listings, the fact that people are willing to send in FBA on this gives me a good sign. And again, if these people are really experienced sellers with hundreds of feedback. That gives me like, it's a vouch that like someone with hundreds of feedback is feeling like this sells. That's just like, you can get your seller friend and say like, yeah, this is actually like moving really well for me. So like, who are the people on this listing? So I'm seeing a lot of Amazon warehouse for the used. New, we got a young man with 15,000 feedback, not a beginner seller, and a guy with 103 feedback on this as well. And no prime, one guy prime. So this guy is selling prime. And so he's the guy who raised it to $600 once everyone got off this $5.99 here. So yeah, this is one. Also, another thing we can do here is, just because this isn't the right price, like we're trying to get it for lower, what we can do is we can go here, search it on eBay, filter by new, sort by lowest, and like, I don't know, why did open box? Yeah, so this looks like it's the cheapest one right now. I'm curious here. Do we have a ton of people selling this for cheaper prices? Not really. But this guy, since he has 3, like who knows, like maybe he got this for much, much cheaper and he'd be willing to accept our offer. So this is one where I'd do 3 and you'd have to like add it to the cart to see how the shipping is affected here. Okay, so it's just a flat 17. Oh, but we need to do this. Yeah, so 17 flat. So we'd send our offer including, so if we want 280, so 1710 divided by 3 is $5.70. So could send them an offer for like 275 for all of them. So we're seeing our total here, to 842 divided by 3. It's around 280. So like, that's probably an offer that I'd send. You could send them a lower one. But if that works out and you're able to get these for 280, even at this 440 price, which if we had it in stock right now, we would not be listing it at 440. We'd be listing matching this guy. So even at our worst case scenario, this is still going to be $116 profit times 3. So that's going to be $348. Good way to make a quick $300 to probably more like $600 on this if he accepts our offer. Or if you're just like, like I'm down for lower ROI, you could just do this. That's going to be around 310. If you sell for that higher price, it's still great ROI. A little low ROI for tech, because like stuff could go wrong. Customer could open the box and return it. So in my opinion, that's a little low for tech. Although $86 is a lot of money. That's the good part about high ASP products. Like there's just a lot of profit to be had. But I'd send them an offer. Yeah, so that's a really good one that someone could send an offer on. Right now, I'm just giving you guys leads so that you guys can purchase these, and really just trying to talk through as many of these situations as I can. But with that being said, thank you guys for showing up. If you guys do want to use FlipMine, I do have a link where you guys can get a free trial of FlipMine. I think it's like 10-day. For absolutely free, you can just check it out, see if it works good for you or not. And with that being said, hope you guys have a great rest of your day and take care.